Okay, you guys, thanks for being on live. I always much appreciated. Okay, so I want to do a quick summit recap for those of you. I know Kathleen and Ashley were both on, but in case people catch the replay. So some of the announcements. The Daily Sunshine, I know you guys basically know the stuff about the Daily Sunshine, but you know, the fruits and veggies, the healthy fats, all the certifications they've got, which is very cool. I'd love to brainstorm if anyone finds something, some way of promoting it or sharing it that is super successful. I'd love to hear, feedback from people as they're kind of rolling this out. I actually haven't started. I haven't posted anything about it yet, so I'm still working my way to that. Number 2, Double Time, the new workout with Tony Horton and company kind of thing. I think it's going to be cool. If you didn't see the preview for it, it's sort of it's meant to be geared for you to do with your kids, but I think it's going to be, for me, I think it's going to be fun to do with my husband, or I think with a friend. I think there's a place for it for sure. Number 3, Clean Week. That's going to be huge. I mean, of all the things, I think Daily Sunshine, but I think Clean Week is going to be huge. I mean, that's going to take what we already do and give us a system from Beachbody. And if you haven't watched the YouTube video on that, check that out, because I think that's kind of what I'm most excited about. And they're going to be able to preview all the workouts. If there's one thing I took away from the summit, it's that Beachbody, the corporate people, they're really listening to us as coaches. Just about everything that they rolled out at Summit has been discussed in the wall, which is now called the round table, but is in the wall, which is for 5-star diamond and above coaches, for as long as I've been in it. Not complaining, adding suggestions and different things. So they're listening, which is awesome. So the Clean Week is a way for people to get on and preview the workouts and the exercises and whatnot. And I just think it's going to be huge for us. The UK launch, I hesitate to even bring this up too much, because I think the UK launch can be huge for some people. It's not necessarily something that's going to be huge for all of us. I think it depends on where you are in your business. I know Megan is at a point where she's doing a lot of Facebook ads. She's investing a lot of money into Facebook ads for her like page, and it makes sense for her to target UK people, or someone like Lauren Friedman, who has a lot of military people she knows over in the UK. I don't know if the military people, on our team have that as well. Jen Ginga, who lives there. I mean, I think it makes sense for some people. What I'm saying is, don't stress yourself out. I think there's a lot of hype. It's easier to just throw a post up and say, oh, we're going to UK. But I mean, I haven't even done that, because it doesn't really make sense for me. I don't have people on my profile who follow me from the UK at this point. But if you do, and you need help trying to figure out how way to launch that, I mean, feel free to reach out and we can figure out a way. Number 5, the diamond bonus. You guys, this is huge. This has been a long time coming. I think that it is long overdue. You get a bonus at 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star. Why shouldn't you get one at diamond? It's a sign that they see you as a leader. And we all push people to hit diamond because it's a big goal in our business. It really signifies a lot. And that a couple extra bucks in Team Cycle bonus might not, if you have a skeletal diamond business center, it might not show to be a lot, but you're probably doing, if you're a diamond coach, the leadership things that, a 2-star diamond is doing. So I think that it is awesome. I think it's a great incentive. You guys, it's $500 by Christmas. And you know what? $500 is nothing to scoff at. I know I wouldn't scoff at that. Any extra income like that. So I think it's just a great incentive. And if you want to push for diamond, I think it's there for you. If it's not on your radar, that's okay too. But if you are close and you are pushing for it, why not go for it and get that bonus? It's my feeling. Okay. The next one is also huge. It's another one that has been a long time coming, and that is the 10% for Beachbody On Demand customers, for club members, is being taken away, right? I see Ashley, that's huge, right? I mean, that is where a lot of people volume has decreased, because we have all these people who are now have Beachbody on demand. So they're not getting Shakeology HD at the regular price, they're getting it at the discounted price. So a lot of people have seen their volume decrease, and thus their income has decreased. I think that it's a hard sell on signing up to be a discount coach if they're already getting that 10%. And the way Beachbody has laid out the, their formula, their organization, is that we need to be signing coaches in order to move forward and rank. And that's just the way it is. So, they're listening, they're working. They moved it from December to September. I think it's huge for us. Your customers are going to be getting an email, but there's no, I definitely think it's worth it to reach out to them and say that this is going to be going away, but I've got this other opportunity for you to continue getting just as much, a little bit more even of a discount. So I think that is going to be huge for us. And I just love seeing that Beachbody is actually backing us and they're not just in it for themselves. I think that is even bigger for me, to see that they're not just like, how can we make more money and do this, that, and the other thing. When, that's for some people who rely on a lot of Shakeology HD customers for income, their volume has dropped in a huge way because of that. So I think that that's huge. Next one, Team Cup. If you're not on a Team Cup team, get on one. That starts in August. I think, we're all good with there. In Summit 2018 in Indianapolis, I think that's awesome. I'm super excited about it. I know that for our team, a lot of our team who are in either Ohio or Michigan, it's huge. I mean, from Rochester, I think it's, hopefully it's a good place. But what I'm excited about is the humidity and the heat is going to be much lower. And I hear it's a very clean city and everything's connected. I watched a video from a coach who lives there and who did like a Q&A on the city, and everything's connected with Skywalk. So all the hotels, you don't even have to step foot outside. So she's like, once you're in your hotel, you're inside for good, unless you want to leave for any reason. So, and that's to the stadium and to the convention center. So, how cool is that? We don't have to worry about Ubers. We don't have to worry about taxis. We don't have to worry about getting mugged. None of that stuff falling. You guys don't know. A couple of you were with me at walking Summit. Angela got out at the right time. I fell and I got a pretty ripped up knee. Or Ashley followed me. We went down. Anyways, I think it's a really good thing. So I'm excited about that. So if you don't have your ticket, get your ticket. I think most of you are going. So there you go. That's the Summit recap. If you guys have any questions about that stuff, post about it. And I'm not the only one who can answer. Everyone can answer. Who was there? There was a bunch of us there and whatnot. It was really fun this year. It was a great experience. I'm looking forward to it next year as well. Okay, so you guys ready to talk about social media? I'm excited. I don't feel like I have many, I feel like I'm pretty average in most things, but social media, I feel like I could talk about it all day. I feel like I've mastered social media, and most of my contacts come from my social media, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this. Okay, quick drink. Okay. Here we go. Now you missed it. I just admitted to falling. We were in New Orleans. And then Ashley, I'm going to call you out so I don't feel so stupid. Ashley went down after me. So I'm not alone. It was slippery, right, guys? It was slippery.
I fell in Nashville, Katie, right?
I know. I had blood running down my leg. I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, okay, so here we go. Social media. Okay, the first thing I want to say is that, and I've said this before, and you've probably heard this before, but your Facebook profile or your Facebook like page or your Instagram, whatever it is that you're using, is your storefront to your business. And I think before you post anything, you need to ask yourself, is this something that I want to be represented by my business? If you're a business building coach, okay, I think it's so important. I think every picture needs to be not filtered, but you need to look at it and say, is this right for my social media? Does this represent me? Is this something that should go with my brand? And I think sometimes newer coaches have trouble kind of giving over their social media to their business. But if you want this business to work, I think you have to kind of give it over to your business. You could have a separate one or whatever you want to do, but whatever you're using to build your business on social media, you're kind of giving that to your business. And I think everything you post, you need to ask yourself, is this something that I want on the storefront of my business? Okay, whether it be a picture or what you're saying. Next thing, being consistent. We all know it's super important to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And this is across all things, your business, your workouts, your nutrition, your invites, whatever it is in your social media, in your life. If you want to be successful, you have to be consistent. I loved some of what Darren Hardy talked about. At Summit, he talked kind of based on the compound effect, which I think a lot of us have read, but that every little tiny decision, that's what brings the big results. It's not like the big decision. Like one awesome post is not going to make your social media great. One healthy meal is not going to make you healthy. It's every little tiny decision. And a lot of times we think like, you know, oh, I'm out to eat. I'm just going to have the burger and fries or the pizza. And I'm not saying you can never have it. I'm just using it as an example. When really every little tiny decision leads up to the big result. And it's the same with your social media. You know, you've heard of Jab, Jab, Right Hook. It's a book. And he talks about in that book, you know, your right hook is going to be like your call to action post, but you got to have those jabs in there before laying the foundation, or the breadcrumbs. We talked about the breadcrumbs. We talked about breadcrumbs in the past in social media. You got to have that foundation for your social media. So then when you do post a call to action post, you actually get people responding to you. But if you get no responses, then probably you need to go back and evaluate and figure out what's wrong with your jabs. What's going on with those jabs that you're not producing the right hook? And you know, if you take some time and build your business on social media, perfecting those jabs is really super important. Okay. Next thing, be interesting. You know, I think we all think we're not interesting, but we really are. We all have something unique to offer. Somebody suggested, I actually asked a whole bunch of leaders on Team Phoenix to talk to me about their best social media tips. And this was one thing somebody said: make a list of 50 things that you're interested in outside of Beachbody. 50 things, that's a lot. So every little thing. So then when you're feeling like you don't know what to post, you go back to those 50, that list, and you can figure out something to post. So you're interesting. And that's the same with, I think, you know, I often see, I'm not like calling anyone out, so nobody think that I'm talking specifically to anybody on this call. But you know, I often see people write like a paragraph about like their day or something, and it doesn't have anything that somebody who doesn't know you would be interested in reading. Does that make sense? That's another thing I'm going to talk about. But you know, would someone who doesn't know you want to follow you, or are you boring? Okay, I always ask myself that when I look at my social media: is this post boring, or would someone want to read it? Would someone get something out of it? You know, constantly reflecting and evaluating your social media, I think, is so important. Every single post is so important. And I think even like the boring posts, or the posts that, you know, maybe don't add value, I almost think it's better just not post anything if you can't think of anything to post, because that's another thing I want to talk about, is becoming white noise. I think it's so easy to become white noise on our social media. If you think about yourself, when you're scrolling Facebook, you literally have seconds to catch somebody's attention. That's all you have. Like, picture yourself scrolling. And if someone is continuously posting something that's not interesting, doesn't have like a pretty picture, I'm not saying you always have to look beautiful, but your picture should be pretty, they're not going to stop and read it, right? Am I right? Like, think about who you look at on social media when you're scrolling. You literally have like 3 seconds to catch somebody's attention. Otherwise, they're going to keep on going. So you better get those jabs pretty, interesting, adding value, or no one's going to pay attention to your right hooks. No one's going to look at your call to action post and stop and read it, because all your posts before haven't caught their eye. So why would this one catch your eye? I think it's the same thing. You know, I've been talking a lot with some coaches about like live videos and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I have mixed feelings about live videos. I know that, you know, Christine Dwyer at Platinum Edge is like, this is the way you got to do your live videos. Chalene Johnson has push live videos. I kind of think that unless you are saying something that people really want to hear, and you're saying something in a really clear, concise, with like a nice background, like even my background, like I wouldn't probably do a live video with this background. Like I look at the light and stuff, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm distracted, it's not great. Then I think live videos are, I almost think they work against you. I don't know about you guys. I mean, raise your hand if you spend time every day listening to people's live videos. Like, is anyone on here? I don't have time. I don't have time to watch live videos. I don't even have time to watch like Chalene Johnson's live videos, and I find her funny and fun and pretty, and I always want to see what her nails look like and her hair looks like. And you know what? I don't have time to watch her live videos. So think about, like, do people on your social media have time to watch your live video unless it's like boom? And I can't even think of anything that would be like boom. Like, I even suspect that, like, when I'm making my workout videos often get a lot of traction on them. And I consider a successful workout video to have about 1,000 views at this point in my business. And I know that people are watching like the first 10 to 20 seconds. So I tend to put the better stuff in the beginning, because toward the end, I know people are clicking off of it. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you're posting on your social media, I think thinking about what you see and what you find interesting is really going to help what you post. So for me, if someone does a workout video who I'm kind of following and interested in, I like to watch it, but it's got to move fast. Anything more than like 30 seconds and I'm like, well, like I'm moving on. Like I have to, I don't have time to sit there and watch it. It has to be, you know, and I think the visual aspect of it, the aesthetics of it really is super important with pictures, videos, live videos. Whatever you're doing, I think the aesthetics needs to be important. I've talked about this before with food. I know I've done like live videos in our Team Alive page. You guys, I don't know how many times I can say this. A shake cup with Shakeology either in it or half drunk is so ugly. I don't want to see that. I love Shakeology and I don't want to see that because it's ugly. It looks disgusting. Why would anyone want to look at that and say, I'm going to get that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So when I see someone post a Shakeology cup either full, like with their face, which a lot of coaches do, oh, you see it all over the place, or just the cup like half full or even empty. I see people post it like empty. I'm like, oh, I just want to like cry for them. I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, that doesn't look good. Here's the facts about Shakeology. We know it's awesome. We know how it makes us feel. We love it. We are all addicted. We're all like these, like, give us Shakeology. Like, we can't go a day without it. But you know what other people see? They see us as people who like drink the Kool-Aid, right? They're like, oh, those crazy people. They see a price tag that's way too high. And then they see a cup that's so ugly and has like specks of brown or whatever. Why would they ever want to get that? Like, I see that and I'm like, oh my God. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. If you're going to post a picture, you have to think of the aesthetics of it. You have to. And it's the same with any kind of sweaty selfie, a food picture. You know, think about what food stops you. If your food looks ugly, don't post it, you guys. It's not worth it, because you are trying to catch people's attention within minutes, right? So if they see something ugly, they're not going to stop and say, oh, maybe I should join that Girls Next free clean eating group, right? Would you, if you saw like something ugly and gross when you were like scanning your social media? I wouldn't want to go eat that. You've got to post the pretty stuff, okay? And when I say, I want to make sure I'm not confusing people when I say pretty, like a sweaty selfie. You guys, I post like the ugliest. Like, I don't wear makeup every day. I'm not like, you know, my hair is not done when I post a picture. But you have to think about what's behind you. When I see someone's like picture sweaty selfie and there's like a shelf with like books and it's brown and there they are and they're got like a patterned headband or something and whatever, another time I cringe because I don't feel like it wouldn't be something where I'd be like, oh, I want to be like that girl and exercise. You see what I'm saying? It has to be aesthetically pleasing. So that's my little rant on pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you're going to become white noise. People aren't going to stop because you're not pictures or whatever that they want to look at. Okay? So it kind of goes into my next thing here, adding value to people's lives. And value does not necessarily have to mean like some like, huge tip or whatever. Humor, encouragement, a great picture, sharing something vulnerable. We need to become storytellers. We've all heard that, right? We need to tell little tiny pieces of our story every single day. You don't want to give the whole book away in one post, because then no one is going to come back. And then you're not going to have, some people, we all know that not everybody sees every single one of our posts. So you're not going to get those people coming back, or they're not, maybe some people didn't see it or whatever. So you want to be vulnerable and tell those stories and kind of drop them along the way. Okay. For example, I'll use myself as an example. A couple of the things that make me me. I'm a binge eater. I had trouble getting pregnant. I gained a lot of weight with my pregnancies. Those are some of the things that are part of my story. So like I'll throw the binge eating in once in a while. Like I'll maybe post that, after my daughter had the little fish hook in her finger, we spent the night at the hospital and whatever. I post on there that I binge ate chips and dip the next day. But then I didn't just say I binge ate chips and dip and I'm sitting there with my stomach out and whatever with the chips in my lap. Like I came back from that. But that's all part of my story, that I'm a binge eater, recovering binge eater, but I still fall off the wagon. Just one little piece. You guys see what I mean? So becoming good at storytelling and sharing your story and who you are in little tiny pieces. Okay. One thing Chalene talked about, if you haven't had a chance to watch Chalene's talk from Summit, it's pretty short. I think it's only like 25 minutes or something. She was awesome as always, but she talked about curiosity and making people curious about what you're doing instead of whatever she says makes sense all the time, right? But she talked about how, if you walk into a store or someplace and a salesperson immediately comes up to you, you just know they're going to try to sell you something, right? And what do? You're like, I'm going to walk away from them. You're like, no, like not happening. You don't want to talk to them. You don't want to be sold, right? It's the same thing on social media, she said. And I loved what she said. Instead of throwing it out there that we're selling, Daily Sunshine or Shakeology or whatever, how can we create curiosity? So instead of just focusing on how many likes we get, how many questions are we getting? Who is getting interested in what we're doing? Okay. I absolutely love that. Like, I think that is like genius. Like, how amazing is that? And thinking it's actually tough to think about the way you're posting, but I love that. And I've been thinking about it with all my posts lately. Before Summit, I did a post. You guys can go back and check it out. Where I had my shake in a glass and I was laying in bed and I talked about how it's curbed my night cravings. I had so many people ask me what it was, and I never once said Shakeology or anything like that in it. That's probably the only time I've ever done what she's saying right. But just as an example. And I'm like, wow, like when she's just talking, like, that is genius. Like, I love that idea. And I think using Insta stories or Snapchat or Facebook stories or whatever you're using with that, the live video kind of stuff, like the snippets of your life, I think that's a really great place to drop that kind of stuff in there, like energize, recover. Like, you don't need to say who wants to buy recover, right? You're just using it every day. I just love that. Are you being a product of the product? I mean, this just goes without saying. Are you doing a program? Are you following a meal plan? Let me tell you guys, I have not been following a meal plan. And now that I am, I have so much more to post about. My social media is so much easier when you're doing what you should be doing. And that, it just makes sense. If you're not using the products, if you're not following a program, if you're not doing the meal plan, why would people trust you? Why would they want to join you? And I think sometimes we all, need to get a taste of that. I know I haven't been following a meal plan and I've had trouble posting about food and I haven't been feeling my best self, you know what I mean? And I think that when you're doing that, then you're also going to get the people asking what you're doing. Because if you're doing it right, you're going to get results. And if you're getting results, people are going to want to join you. Even if it's small results. That's just how it is, right? This is another one, and I have trouble explaining this. But is your social media all about you? Or is it about them as well? Who you're talking to, who your audience is? And I have a lot of trouble explaining this, but I often see people doing it where it's all about the person and not at all about your audience. And there's a fine line, because I know we say share your journey, share your story, share this, share that. But I think there's a place where we cross over that line and when we're just talking and sharing about ourselves, and it's all about us. And it doesn't feel like we're sharing to help others. Does that make sense at all? You know, I feel like people want to know when we're starting a new program, if they're following us for that. And we should share when we're starting a new program, or when we mess up, or, when we have trouble with something, or when we're, on the 3-day refresh or whatever. We have to share what we're doing. But are you just sharing like facts about you, or are you tying it into your audience and who you want to reach? Okay? Because I think that if you're just sharing about you and you're not tying it in at all, you're going to become white noise. Because yeah, people care about you, but how is it going to help them? How is it going to reach them? I'm trying to think of an example so I can really like paint a picture for you what I mean. There's a difference between saying, oh, I'm starting this new program and I'm excited and, this is what it is. And then just saying, I'm not coming across well. I should have thought this out sooner. But am I making sense? If you're constantly just throwing how you're doing and what you're feeling and what you're doing, what program you're doing and how do your knees feel, or how does your, how are you feeling with your food? You're not making it about them. And I think each post, while you're sharing a little story about you or a little piece of your journey, needs to loop around to your audience and pull them in and make it relatable to them. So you're not just throwing out facts about you. Does that make sense? I don't really want to follow people who are just like, I'm starting a new program today. You're going to be seeing me doing this a lot. Like, I don't care. Like, how is it going to relate to me? How is it going to help me? Does that make sense? And I think our audience is like that. They don't want to just see every day what you're doing. They want to know, how does it relate to them? Okay? Would somebody who isn't involved with Beachbody know what you're talking about? I think this is another huge one. Chalene Johnson talks about this. I think I heard it on her Insta stories previously, and it's been something I've been thinking about a lot about. But who are you marketing? I mean, are you talking to coaches? Because if you're talking to coaches, then by all means, use Shakeology, use Shift Shop, use all that stuff, Sean Week, whatever. But if you want to talk to people and pull people in who aren't coaches, who aren't already using Beachbody, they don't know what Sean Week is. I mean, what Sean Week? That doesn't make. What is that? They don't know. They don't know what Shakeology is. They don't know what Shift Shop is. I mean, Shift Shop, I think, is the worst name to begin with, but who knows? So unless you're marketing to other coaches and other people who are already using Beachbody, don't use that lingo. You got to come up with a creative way to talk about what you're doing, and that might entice people to ask you questions too, right? Chalene mentioned this. If you say, let's say you say Shakeology, you might get somebody who goes ahead and Googles Shakeology instead of coming to you and asking you, what is this superfood shake you're talking about? What are you drinking? Super important. I also think it's really important, because you are going to become white noise if you're constantly just saying, oh, I've got my Shakeology, or oh, I'm doing Shift Shop, or whatever. When you say like day 3 of Shift Shop, I mean, I think that too, like, they don't know how many days you're doing. They don't care. People don't care, right? I think you need to really think about every word that you use so that it makes other people who aren't involved in Beachbody interested. Okay. I already talked about pretty. Are your pictures ugly? What's in the background, food, all that other stuff, avoiding becoming white noise. Chalene talked about this. Be you, don't copy. Super important. Copy and paste stuff. No, we don't want to do that. Make a list of 50 things. Become a storyteller with someone who doesn't know you want to follow you. I think that's the biggest one. If you're simply giving updates on your life, your profile page is not the storefront to your business. And that's why maybe your business isn't where you want it to be, or whatever, where you want your social media to be. Updates on your life are not interesting to people who don't know you, right? Are you interested in somebody else's life if it's just like, oh, like tonight, for example, I don't know if you guys saw my post of Tim and Luke, right? Now, I don't do very many posts like that. They're few and far between where it's just like a random picture of my family or whatever. Usually I have something that I tie it back to. Now, I could have gone two ways. I could have just said it was Luke's last night of soccer, ! Done. Like, there it is. People who know me would love to see that. It's an 8. I mean, I know I'm biased, but it's a super cute picture of my family. But part of my brand right now, I consider me my brand, is the fact that Luke's going off to school, and I've been struggling with time moving forward. That's something I've been posting about. I didn't even think it was part of my brand, but we know how I know something's part of my brand when people start tagging me in things about going back to school, their kids going back to school, people not involved in Beachbody. When people start sending me like blogs about moms, that's how I know. That became one of my part of my brand that I didn't even know. Places Charlotte will sleep. I haven't done one of those in a while. I don't know if you guys remember, I used to post pictures of Charlotte sleeping different places. It wasn't part of my brand until I knew when people see like an article on kids sleeping funny places. I've had several people who aren't involved in Beachbody, who are my followers, send me stuff having to do with that. I'm like, okay, this is part of my brand now. And that's what my post tonight was. So I'm like, I'm not just going to throw up a picture of Tim and Luke. I'm going to bring it back to the fact that, and it's true, every time something like this ends, it makes me sad. I'm going to bring it back to part of my brand. So I'm relating it. It's not just about me. It's not just about me, Tim and Luke. It's reaching those other people who are feeling that time is moving on. And it's something, it's a brand it's part of my brand that has kind of taken off in the last couple of months when I've been posting about that kind of thing. And I filtered it. You guys, I think you got to look at your pictures. I have been using the same filter on most of my pictures because I want my Instagram to be uniform. I think that, it's another, it goes along with, are your pictures pretty or are they ugly? Not you. I think everybody is beautiful and has something, their faces are beautiful and sweaty selfies are beautiful, but are your pictures beautiful? You guys know how many pictures I take that I don't post? Hundreds. My phone is clogged. The picture I posted this morning with Charlotte and I, Tim, thank God he's such a great sport. He took hundreds. He kept handing it to me. Can you find one now? Can you find one now? Like, they have to look pretty. They just do. They just do. I can't stress that enough. Your pictures have to be pretty and they have to be interesting. Okay. That's what I have for you. Who has questions, comments? I'm not watching the chat. Anybody?
Hey, Katie, I know you had mentioned before Summit, I don't remember when that was, about maybe us setting up some sort of like social media audit so we can see where it is that we're lacking. Because I think sometimes it's really hard to look and evaluate yourself because you look at it and you think, well, I'm doing these things and clearly I'm not doing these things. So like, I know that there's some things that I'm lacking in, but those are only the ones that I can recognize, but I would like to know where else I can.
I think I totally love that. We did that last year? No, I think we did it when we were in that diamond group. I think it was last year. The one with, was it 2 years ago now with Megan Zernicke? Let's do that. Let's do a social media audit. People who want to. And just as a disclaimer, I have to say that obviously we know this, your social media is only going to get you so far. Obviously, you got to do the personal messages. We all know that, but I got to put that disclaimer on there. Your social media, all of a sudden you got it perfect, doesn't mean. Okay. Anyways, good question. I love that. I do want to do that. Let's set that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Who else has questions, comments, concerns?
I guess something else, if nobody else has anything. I have actually noticed an increase in the traction on my posts since I've taken out all Beachbody lingo. And that's just in like the week since we've been back from Summit. I've noticed a significant increase in traction. Like, from like 5, 6 to 10 of the same people liking like my workout pictures to like 20 plus people liking them. I mean, that's significant for just a week. So
It is significant. And it might be part like just people attracting, and it might be part Facebook algorithm, which is interesting.
or whatever, I'll take that too.
I know, right? I mean, there you go. It's the same with hashtags. Look on Instagram and stuff. You know, hashtagging Shakeology or Shift Shop. It's you know, is it cool when like Joel or Jericho likes to post? Yeah, but like you want to be building your base. Like those people aren't gonna buy Shakeology from you. You know, I mean, it's cool. I like when I see it, but you get 30 hashtags per post. Use them wisely. Who do you want to attract? Do you want to attract other coaches, or do you want to attract, you know, people who might join you someday? So, any questions? Comments? Love that, Ashley. I'm just going to add that your social media takes some work. You know, it takes some time and some effort. There's nothing wrong with creating content for your social media, taking pictures ahead of time, having them. Everything doesn't need to be in real time. You know, I take a bunch of pictures and I filter them, and they're just sitting on my phone. So when I'm looking for a post, or when I think of some kind of a post that I think would be great, I just find a picture that makes sense. So, you know, keep that in mind. You are a business. Your Facebook page is a business. So, you know, preparing your marketing, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with preparing pictures. It doesn't all have to be in real time. And it does take work and effort. You know, it can't, if you want to get past I think beginning coaches, it's okay to say share your journey. But after a while, sharing your journey, I don't think is enough. I think you've got to move forward from that. You have to, you know, not just say exactly what you're doing, but actually add some value and some content and put some thought behind it, behind your words and your pictures. I think is important. So. All right, guys, we're less than a minute. Thank you all for being on. I'm going to upload the recording, but I hope you guys got something out of this. But let me know if you have questions. We'll set up a social media audit. So we'll be looking for that if you want to join that and do it. It's going to be purely optional, of course. So, all right, guys, have a good night.